Hello folks and welcome to the channel. Today we're announcing the league which is starting next week. It's going to be a GR4 league going around 6 circuits, which you probably won't know, but you'll get the opportunity to learn. The league is being run by my channel with a member of the channel, a viewer, a racer, a participant, somebody dedicating their time to run the league. They're doing a very good job of getting it organised, and with that I'm just throwing in bits and pieces. So it'll give me a chance to concentrate on the channel and do the bits and pieces, and they'll do the extra little bits of fluff. At the end of the day, this is what the league's going to be about. It's about player participation, learning the game, understanding what it's about, how to manually handle a car around people, and that's what this channel's about really. We've been racing the AI, we've been doing tests, we've been doing licenses, we've been doing daily races, we've been doing all sorts of stuff like the lap time trials, but we haven't really done racing against humans. So for the last couple of months we've been running an online lobby on a Thursday and a Friday night, and I've offered to the guys, let's do it, let's jump in for a league and I'll arrange something, which is always going to be difficult with calendars. So we've got 16 open slots. I've got round about 10 takers from the guys that go on the Friday and Tuesday nights, and we've got a few slots open to you. So at the end of this video, after my little bit of opening spiel, I'm going to take you through all the circuits, but for now I just want to explain to you what the league's about. The idea is that we're going to run a qualifying session, a test session prior to it, so for open practice, then we're going to run qualifying, and then the race. Every race will be a 60-minute race. We're going to use all tyre types in the racing category, so that's going to be softs, mediums and hards. Oh, look at that, 3 wide into there, my lord. So with that being the case, you have to pit a minimum of 2 times to complete the race, and we're going to use set fuel and tyres. So we're going to basically engineer the fact that we're going to have a good tyre, a bad tyre, and a tyre that you can actually run on that's going to be really poor. But by running the poor tyres you can run longer without pit stopping, and I think you'll find the people that win these races are the ones that push those hardest tyres the longest. But we'll see. The car you pick for the first race will be the car you take for the rest of the races. As you can see, this little video here is focusing on the car I've chosen. I'm the only person I think to nominate their car at this point, but it will be the WRX. And for those that don't know, this was the fastest GR4 car around short circuits in GT Sport. So there's method in my mentality for going for this one. However, as you can see, the 458 there being run by one of our members, he is actually super duper quick on fuel, and it's a relatively quick car, and it's good on its tyres. But however, Tuesday and Friday nights, it's going to be run on UK time. We're going to kick the server off with the open practice at 8:30. And at 8:30 we're going to run roughly 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes of practice, then we'll go to quali. Those qualifying places down from 1st to 5th place will be awarded first place 5, 4 for 2nd, 3 for 3rd, 2 for 4th, 1 for 5th, and then we're going to reverse that grid into the race. So if you qualify first, you'll end up at the back. So if you don't think you're going to qualify in the top 5, do you want to really push and qualify at all? Do you want to get yourself down to near the front of the grid? But be warned, the way it works, if you're going to be sandbagging and qualifying, there's a chance that the person coming 5th in the race could actually win more points than the person winning the race, especially for the fastest lap. The fastest lap in the main race, you'll win an extra point. So, all being said, the events kick off at 8:30. We'll get qualifying done around 9:15, and then we'll go to the race around about half past 9, maybe 20 to 10, and we'll race for an hour. We're going to do a slightly shortened, truncated version of that on a Tuesday night. As you can see me there, just spinning out. Oh, shocking. However, Tuesday nights will be the practice night. We'll run the Friday event on the Tuesday, and we'll be able to run the scenarios, so you can test out your strategy, because that's what it's all about. Everybody's got the same even platform apart from the kart, and you can test your strategy on a Tuesday night. And we've been running this for the past 8-10 weeks, so there isn't a lot to learn, folks. If you can handle the car and you've got a decent car, come join us, be part of it. We're going to stream it, we're going to make a video of each event. And we're also going to be making sure that everything's clean and friendly. And we'd expect everybody to be clean and friendly. You'll see some door bashing, you've seen a little bit into these videos, but it's all done with a bit of respect. So, now going to go down and just explain that on UK time, those people that are coming from Europe, because we've got some European guys that are taking part, they're going to be an hour ahead. So the 8:30 PM will be a 9:30 PM, and they'll probably finish around midnight. If you're coming from the US to take part, we've already got 3 to 4 members from the US, one in Canada who's going to take part. They're going to be starting around about 3:30 in the afternoon, depending on which coast you're on. So the East Coast guys, New York, etc., they're going to be starting 3:30 PM on a Friday. Tuesday, I'm afraid, if you can't make it, just drop in, guys. Just drop in. So what do you get out of it? You get to star in some YouTube videos. If you do well, if you do badly, if you do a little bit of a wreck, you'll end up in a video. But you'll also, if you're in 3rd place, you'll get a trophy. And there it is. There's 3rd place. Not entirely complete, but that's 3rd place, isn't it? 2nd place, a slightly more complete trophy. There it is, back in the video. Little old trophy there, get it close to my face, you can see it. Little trophy. And in 1st place, you'll get a bigger trophy. Each one's going to have a base on the bottom, and it's going to have a plaque for 1st, 2nd and 3rd. And I printed a slightly bigger one for the person making the effort. So there's going to be a prize for somebody who makes an effort in the actual process. So it's as good, if not better, than the 1st place one, because that's for somebody who's committed to the process. So what I'm going to do now is just take you round the tracks, and at the end of that we'll finish the video off by just saying there's a big update tomorrow. I hope it doesn't change the game too much. I hope it does, but I hope it doesn't change the playing field. But ultimately, folks, next week, starting on the 2nd, and then every Friday for the next 6 weeks, we've got this league to go on. If you want to join us, please do so. Contact me on Widdowmaker 10144 on the PlayStation app. From there, you'll see my lobbies go up. You'll be able to join us in the friends list, and we use the application, the PS application, for the chat during the race. So there's live chat as you're going. You can interact with the other drivers. You can talk to them. You can say watch out. You can say hey, I'm coming, or lap cars out the way if you're any good. But with that, folks, we'll take you around a guided tour of the track. We'll see you there. So the first race in week 1 is the 2nd of June. It's Sardinia Road Track. We're doing layout C, which is 1.65 miles. The start finish straight sees the pits on the right hand side. As you accelerate down the start straight, you'll arrive at the first corner of the left-hander. Quite a tricky one. You'll find the braking point on the right hand side, get all the way over onto the blue tarmac, make that left-hand bend apex in his 2nd gear depending on the car. As you leave that corner, you'll then approach what is potentially the hardest corner in all the races we're going to do. This one really does set people up the wrong way. It's 4th gear corner. As you can see the Mini making the entry there. Go through that corner, 2 wheels in the dirt, and then we head off downhill. As you come downhill, you'll meet the wall on the on the right hand side. You just have to be very careful with that wall. Don't clip it or it'll take you off the circuit. As you go down through the dip, you're going to raise up the other side, and you're going to line up for the really fast braking point into the hairpin. Here we go. We'll see the Cappuccino come over the crest past the windmills, and there it is. There's the view as he goes up the hill. You'll cut that apex, you'll touch the grass, and then you'll try and make a little dash across the grass on the right hand side there and brake down to 2nd gear for the hairpin. Making the hairpin corner, as you can see it up there in the distance, and you'll choose to either go to the pits at the relevant pit stop time, or you'll blast back down the straight. The pits you'll spend a lot of time in if you're choosing to use the softer tyres, because you'll pit more frequently and you'll be burning those tyres up, but you'll be putting in faster laps. But then maybe the strategy to run the harder tyres is the way to go. That's what we'll find out through the practice sessions on the Tuesday night, and then you can put that to test on a Friday with the rest of the team. Week 2 on the 9th of June takes us to Lago Maggiore, one of those superb tracks that I spend a lot of time on, but for this one it's the home of the K Cup. It's the little short circuit at 1.25 miles, and we'll run lots of laps here. Dependent on what your memory is of Lago Maggiore, this track didn't have this pit lane in GT Sport, so this is new to GT7, and as you cross the start finish line here, you'll see the older classic cars just doing the lap, but this was the intro video as well that we used earlier. Turn 1, make your way out to the right hand side as the cappuccino goes round there. Dive into the inside of the apex. There's a couple of ways to take this corner. You can take it really wide and cutting sharp, or you can take it early and run an even pace through that apex. Then running up the right hand side of this track, up the hill, we'll see you arrive at the left-hander for turn 2. This one is a second or third or fourth gear corner, depending which car you're in. But this will set you up for the braking point as you cut across the grass on the right hand side for the next complex, the slowest part of the circuit. So as you come up to this corner, you can get all the way across to that orange curb, and then you'll set yourself up for the crest of the hill, where you have to try and find your braking point. Just here, as we go to the next clip, you'll see the white line across the circuit, and my advice is to brake as soon as you see that line from the driving position. Make your way out to the right hand side and cut back tight to the apex in second gear. This complex itself is quite tricky. As you cut that apex there, cut out to the red and white curbs, hit the next red and white curbs on the left hand side, and you can choose to either pit and go through the pit lane, watching out for that wall at pit entry. We've known a couple of people hit that so far. There you can see it on the left hand side with the white tyres. As you cut that apex to the right hand side, watch out for the wall on the outside, and you'll blast through the start finish to complete that lap. You'll probably get around 48-50 laps in on this race. It will be a stunner. It's a great one for the second round. And then Watkins Glen, 2.45 miles, the longest course of the actual series. And this one is going to be favourite for the guys from the US. When we ran the test race here, it was an absolute beamer. It was extremely fast, extremely quick, and the American guys knew exactly what they were doing here. Us Europeans had to learn a lot to keep up with them. So the start finish straight sees you approaching to a 90 right, braking around about the 150 depending on who you are. There you can see it. Use all the red and orange curb on the inside and don't extend too far beyond the red and yellow on the outside of the corner. This isn't NASCAR, so we're not going to run the outside line. We're going to be using the strong boundary penalties. So if you do cross that outside line at turn 1, you will suffer penalties. Going uphill route through the S-bends, we're going to arrive at the bus stop. Not braking too late, because you will see cars spin off to the right hand side here. If you brake too late, you'll unbalance the car over the curbs, and as that car comes through there, you'll end up down here where all these tyre marks go on the left hand side. After successfully navigating, hopefully you won't take out Mr. Bunny there, sat in the grass, but you'll make your way around the long hairpin, which is probably one of the fastest corners in the game, and then we'll see yourself down the back straight. Absolutely ripping down here, probably reaching the highest speed on the track before approaching the left hand and the right hand before the final finish. We won't be running pit lane entry rules here, just to make sure that there's no penalty, because this pit lane seems to have a glitch. But as you come round through the start finish, hopefully after around about 30 laps, you'll be successful and you'll be the one standing in pit lane accepting that trophy at the end of the season. Track number 3 takes us to the Red Bull Ring at week 3 on the 16th of June. Again, it's the short track at 1.45 miles. This one will see us lapping at around about the 56-57 territory, and we'll put in a massive number of laps, probably around 55, 56, maybe 58, depending on how fast the winner is. Lots of time in the pit lane too, with lots of tyre changes. The first corner is a right-hander, watching out for those yellow curbs. If you cross those, there will be time penalties, and are quite common. Turn 2 is a sharp 180 degrees. Probably in second or third gear depending on your choice of car. It's a stunning autodrome of sport this. It's an amphitheatre of motorsport all day long. It's one of the most beautiful scenic tracks in the game. Again, very popular in the full circuit. As we sit amongst the daffodils, or are they daisies, or whatever they are, we can come up the back straight through the penalty line. Having negotiated that rather tricky set of S-bends, The trick is to know when to accelerate. We'll arrive at the last 2 corners. The choice to enter the pits again or to carry on round the lap. You'll do a lot of pit stops here if you're running softs, but softs will deliver the fastest time as always. The trick will be to run the hard tyres as long as we possibly can. And there's the pit finish. Again, person here finishes. We'll have a stunning view of the rest of the track up there on the gantry for the prize. And there she is, the famous Red Bull at the ring. Track number 4 takes us to one of the UK legendary tracks. Brands Hatch formal GP circuit, but we will be running the Indy circuit this week. Crossing the start finish line again, we have the pits on the right hand side into one of sport's most legendary corners. You'll be dancing with the edge of the track on the left hand side, then swing right down into the dip. You'll flirt with that sand bunker on the right hand side as we look at it, making our way up underneath the bridge, braking for the hairpin. This will be one of the closest races of the season. It's a moderate length circuit, probably longer than most of the others, and we'll see ourselves lapping around about the 1 minute mark. The hairpin here leads back downhill to a 90 left, and there's a potential for a few spins down here if you get it wrong. As you can see, the full field of cars there from one of the evenings we ran a test race. There's that 90 degree left. You accelerate up that 90 degree left into the complex. You'd normally turn left and head up round into the GP circuit, but we'll do a fast sweep to the right hand side. As you can see just here, we'll make the left hand turn, then a right turn, and it's a full 180 degrees back on yourself with a double apex corner, again to choose entry to the pit lane or to carry on back round past the start. This is where the old circuit joins back again, and we'll be doing roughly similar speeds to what they would be doing off the back straight. Then we'll come round to complete the lap and make our way on to the final race of the circuit at Sabuka. This one, Tsukuba. This completes the 6 weeks, and it's also the final round, or it's the opening round to the human comedy, but we'll be doing it in different cars. The GR4 car. This is a rather short lap. It'll see probably one of the most competitive races. Don't forget, we'll be able to drop around at this point, so if you've got 5 good rounds in, this one could be a take it easy. But then again, if you're dragging a bit, this one is a real opportunity to make up some places. It will be dry, we won't be using any weather, so you'll find this course easier to navigate. You go around the first 180, you'll come back round through the S-bends, cutting as much as you possibly can on the curbs. You'll come tight round this 180 again. There's 4 complete 180s in this circuit. This is probably the second tightest. We'll make that 180 degree turn, accelerate down to the 90 right underneath the bridge that we can see now in the distance. As you go underneath that bridge, it's another left hand turn. Full field of cars through this would be absolutely superb, as it is in the human comedy race. Dive underneath the Dunlop bridge, 90 degree left turn, then come round to the tightest hairpin on the circuit, which will see us accelerate down the back straight, at which point I'll just point out the race is being marshalled by our motorsport friends. They do it fairly and freely, and they're there to protect us, chaps, so always say a thank you to the marshals for every time we race, and in real life too. Thank you, guys. But with that concludes the 6 weeks. As you come round, hopefully we'll crown first, second and third at this point with no issues. And with that, folks, thank you very much. I'm going to hand you back to the studio and me to sign off for the close of the event. And that's it, folks. That's what we're doing in the league. That's what we're going to bring to you next Friday. If you want to join us, Widdowmaker 10144 on the PlayStation app. Join my friends list and join us this coming Tuesday for the first round of practice. We'll see you then, folks. All the best. Take care.